Hi, this is Wayne Blau with another smart profit maximizing moment. Today we're going to talk about a key concept, truthfully, if you're a manager and even managing only yourself, it's a key concept. What we're talking about is what you measure is what will be improved. What you measure always gets improved. I'm going to give you some theory behind it and also a good example of how I used it, all right, and how I still use it, to be honest about it. First, let me reintroduce myself a little better. My name is Wayne Bilal. I'm a local CPA. I've been doing this since the late 70s. I passed my CPA exam like when I was 22, 23, and I ain't 22 or 23 anymore. Sadly. Though, I've picked up a ton of experience over the years. Started my own CPA firm in 1991. Like I said, I worked in other CPA firms, got good training. Started in 1991, been doing pretty much all my whole life, except for like a 5 or 6 year period where I was the CFO, first comptroller and then CFO of a local bottling plant, a regional bottling plant. Up until that, other than that small time period, I have literally been working with small business owners. And what I've done is kind of focus my firm that I founded to do the three things that are really most important to taxpayers. One is a necessary evil. We help them file our tax return. We help them do it in a way where they literally can be rest assured that we're doing the best we can to make sure they pay the lowest possible and to make sure we keep them out of trouble as best we can. All right. Second thing is more important in my mind. It's more important to the taxpayer. We're helping them make sure through tax planning that they keep more of their hard-earned money. In the last 3 years alone, we've saved our clients $4.3 million. That's a lot. It's not bad for a small CPA in West Texas. All right. But what we've done with that, what our clients can do with that is amazing. I mean, they can fund their retirement, buy a second home, pay for their kids' college, go on vacation, buy a new home, hopefully save some of that and invest in their business and grow it so that they make even more money, which leads to the third thing. I'm the creator of the Smart Profit System, which is a system I use to help my business owners jumpstart their profits, because that's all that matters in business at the end of the day is how much you get to keep. Doesn't matter if you do $5 million in sales if you lose $100,000. I've seen it, by the way. All right. So it's important to make sure that the only thing that matters is what you keep, and that's what the Smart Profit System that we've created works. And that's part of the reason behind these videos is to educate our clients on ways to make more money. Pay attention. June 10th, we're going to be launching our first challenge. Pay attention to your emails. I'm probably going to send it out early next week announcing it. Not probably, I am going to send it out early next week. Today we're going to talk about what you measure gets improved, all right? The importance of monitoring key metrics in order to improve business operations is a concept that has been around for well over 100 years. Dr. H. James Harrington has been involved in quality and performance projects starting back in the 50s, summarizes well why the simple act of measuring something is enough to cause improvement by itself. Think about that. The simple act of measuring something causes improvement. Crazy. But let's read what he says a little better. If my iPad will stop flipping. Measurement is the first step that leads to control and eventually improvement. If you cannot measure something, you can't understand it. If you can't understand it, you can't control it. If you can't control it, you can't improve it. That's pretty important. I mean, think about that. If you can't measure something, you can't understand it, you can't control it, you can't improve it. That's pretty good. In business, what you measure gets done. That's important. The very nature of knowing that something is being monitored causes us to work harder and perform better. There's real proof on this. It was named in 1955 by Henry Landsberger. It was called the Hawthorne effect, which describes a form of reactivity on the part of people whereby they improve an aspect of behavior being measured simply in response to the fact that the measurement is taking place. I read that, I remember when I was managing back in the Coca-Cola days, I had 30, almost 40 people working for me. One of the key areas that we had to work with was the drivers came in, they brought their routes in, and the routes had to be settled. And we had, I started tracking errors, and I started tracking how long it took them to do it, because there always seemed to be overtime in that area. And, at that time, my bosses didn't give me a big budget, so I couldn't really set up much of a reward. and I hadn't learned the value of just doing small rewards. It's amazing how well those work, almost better than money. You know, like handing out movie tickets, just saying, hey, good job, things like that work about as equal to handing out a bonus, which at that time I didn't realize. Now I've learned. But what I started doing is there was like 8 or 9 of them, because it was a big plant. Okay, you know, the 400 million in that plant alone, and 40 drivers. You know, so all these routes had to be settled, and there were complications with all of them. They were all a little different. What I started doing is I went up and I put a big whiteboard up in the room where they came in the morning and settled yesterday's routes. Okay, and across the top I put the dates, and down the side I put their names twice and the dates twice. So I really had 2 boards now that I remember. I had one for error rate, and I had one for how long it took them to do it. And all I did was around 10 o'clock, I would put what they did the day before, because I had somebody that was actually auditing them, all right? So I'd come in the next day and I'd put, you know, 5 errors, whatever. I'd put a percentage, I think, so it would be comparable. So like 5%, 2%, 4%, 10%, whatever it was. And the hours and minutes it took them to do the job. And I came in every day at pretty much the same time, and I didn't say a word to anybody. I said, hi, good morning, how you doing? And then I'd put the numbers up, and I'd say, hey, have a great day, and I'd walk out. What I saw is the Hawthorne effect in working. People started doing better. Why? I mean, I didn't have a reward in place. I didn't have a competition in place. Truthfully, I saw improvement pretty darn fast, too, within the first week. Why? It's pretty simple. It's human nature. By nature, we want to improve. We like to keep score. Go to a baseball game or a football game or a hockey game and they don't keep score. You get bored. You know, there's no tension that's created. There's no competition. We're all competitive to some degree or another. Some way more than others. You got to be careful with what I just did. It could have got out of control. Even I've coached, okay? I coached at Y leagues where we're not supposed to be keeping score. Trust me, those little kids at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, they're keeping score. They know who won at the end. Adults are fooling themselves if they think they don't, all right? When you measure your own, we want to win and we don't want to be the worst, so we never want to be the bottom. When you measure your own performance, though, measure what you do. Like, how many sales calls did I make? Did I do more this week than last week? How much work did I get done? How many new people did I see? Whatever is important to measure, all right? Positive things happen. You always know exactly where you stand when you measure. You can't lie to yourself. Facts are facts. I think sales went up. It's different than, oh, hey, I had 5 new customers this week, and this month it looks like we're going to improve by 4%. You can't fool yourself. Oh, we're going to drop. What did I do wrong? You can identify key aspects you want to refine. You can see, in order to keep improving, what you start thinking about what needs to be improved. That's important. You are able to set goals and evaluate your progress. If you're measuring, and say, hey, you know, I'm doing X amount, I'd love to do Y amount. How do I get from here to there? It automatically helps you. You're able to see results of your refinements. And you can quickly and accurately troubleshoot your problems as they come up. Measurement is the key. It's very, very important. Tomorrow I'm going to take off on this a little bit and talk about tracking key sales and marketing activities and why that's kind of why it's so important to growing your sales. And I'm going to give you 17 things that I think should be measured. And I hear that 17. Who the hell's got time to do that? I'm not an accountant. I'm a salesperson, or I'm a dentist, or I'm a plumber, or trust me, if you want to hit your goals and you really want to be in the top 2%, they measure these. So if you want to be there, you need to learn to measure them too. So join me tomorrow where we continue our discussion about measurement by talking about the 17 things you should be measuring in your sales area. Until next time, this is Wayne Belisle saying, let's make this our most profitable year ever. Thank you very much.